Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and look who is home with me for a few days. Sirius. Sirius, look over here. He's watching the cats. He hadn't been home 5 minutes, and Draco is already bopping him on the head and the nose. Sirius, look at mommy. Sirius. There we go. His tail's wagging. Yeah, the kids, he's been trucking with the kids because it's hard for me to take care of him during the day when I'm alone. But they had to go get the truck fixed, which is going to take a few days. So they're dropping it off. They dropped it off to be fixed, and he's home with us. So, during the day, he has to stay inside with me, which he'll be fine. So, he'll probably be here till Monday or Tuesday. I think it's kind of a good trial run to see, how this goes. Because, these dogs like to lean on you, and, that could be an issue. But I think he knows, something's wrong with me, and he won't. I'm just so happy to have him back. The furnace is running. I think it's going to get too hot in here for him, so I'm going to have to lower that. But he's back, so my occupational therapist is going to be here in a few minutes. So after that, I'm going to do my weekly update on my recovery, so stay tuned. Hey everybody, it's Gypsy, and this is my week 11 update on my recovery after breaking my Tibia Plateau and shattering my knee joint. And as you guys know, I have my dog home with me for at least a few days. My dog's Sirius. My daughter-in-law dropped him off this morning. His reaction has been interesting because the last times I've seen him, I've been in my wheelchair. Now I'm in the house, I use my walker. Sorry, my hair is getting in my way. When I just wash my hair, it gets crazy. He's always been protective. He's a Great Pyrenees. It's part of their job to be protective, but he's on overdrive now. With my walker, he's right with me all the time, walking very slowly. He is not, Great Pyrenees like to lean against you, like when you're standing or walking. He has not done that. He's being very careful with me. Very cautious about what's going on outside. My occupational therapist was just here. And, I told my, therapist, come on in. And this guy was on high alert. I was holding his collar, and he, barked at him, and I, gave Sirius the word that it's okay for him to come in, and he's nice. And then after he settled, I gave him that message, and then Sirius just wanted him to pay attention. But he's like watching outside. He does not leave my side. He's right here, right now, next to me on the floor. He's just very, very protective, more so than usual of me. So it's going good. He wants to go outside. I told him, yeah, I'd love to go outside too, but neither one of us can until later tonight. But anyways, my occupational therapist said that next week is my last week of in-home occupational therapy. I think occupational therapy, I don't know what the hell is going on here, is over with next week. I really don't need it anymore. Today he helped me gave me some really nice, cool new exercises that nobody's ever showed me before to strengthen my core. But I told him, he says, what do you want to work on today? I said, well, our kitchen is very narrow, so I can't get the wheelchair in there. I want to bake banana bread because we have bananas going bad, and I want to use them. I said, but I'm a little worried about that. So he told me how to do that. He says, what we need is like a bar stool to put at the counter. And I knew where I wanted to sit to bake because the end of the counter, towards the kitchen entry is right by the kitchen entry. So I said, well, our dining room chairs are high. And he saw this, he goes, oh, that's perfect. So he put one at the end of the counter for me. My only concern is like bending over because I'm only using one leg. He said I would have to be very cautious with that. But I think I'm gonna, do my batter and put it in the pan and stuff and have it ready. And then later, when I'm no longer alone, have him put it in the oven for me. So that's what I'm gonna do with that. So I'm kind of working on getting back to cooking and baking. My son and daughter-in-law are truckers. They were in California last week, and they stopped at the garlic capital of the world. And I get a text from my son. He said, Mom, because me being Sicilian, I use a lot of garlic. He said, I just bought you an obscene amount of garlic for when you start cooking. So I was like, oh, yeah. So I'm really excited about that. So I got new exercises. I'll be done with OT next week. I have my doctor's appointment on the 28th, which is a week from Friday. Today is Wednesday. He's going to do x-rays, and he said if all is well, I can start weight bearing and then start working on walking. I see no reason why he wouldn't tell me I can start doing that. So occupational therapy will end, and then I will start having in-home physical therapy to help me get started with my walking. Now, my occupational therapist has told me, even what the doctor says, he goes, I want you to take it slow. You don't have to stay exactly on the doctor's schedule. He says, you didn't just have a plate put in. He said you had reconstructive surgery, and you have to be even more careful with that. So, yeah, the doctor had to put my bone back together before putting the plate back in. He had to glue it. Shards all over the place. So, he's telling me, take it slow. See what you can do. If it's too much, don't push yourself. He says with reconstructive, you have to be very careful. So there's that. Oh, here's the most important thing. I can now bend my knee 90 degrees. So now I'm working on bending it back even further. I was very excited to get it to that 90 degrees. When I am sitting in a chair now, it bends equally with my right leg, which is exciting. I still have swelling, so that kind of hinders the flexibility, but I can still do it. I can also sit normally in a vehicle. Now, I still have to slide in backwards because I can only put weight on one leg, but I can now sit forward. Instead of sitting sideways in the back seat with my legs straight up on the seat, I sit forward. So that's a good thing. Last Thursday, it was so beautiful here. We had a picnic in the park, and then there were wheelchair accessible trails, and he rolled me on those, and it was wonderful. And I sat forward in the front seat. It was really exciting. I know these sound like stupid little things, but when you have an injury like this and you've been laid up for so long, it's exciting. Yeah, my occupational therapist said, yeah, now next week I want to hear more of your adventures for this week. Meaning, all right, I sat in the car, I can sit in the car straight, I went to the park, stuff like that. But what happened was my pain increased, and my knees, it's always swollen, but it was huge. It was really bad. So my nurse and I have been working on pain management for, because she says if you are having this much pain when you go to start walking, you're not going to be able to do it with that pain. So we have to get that under control so you can work on your walking. So things are looking really good right now. Last week I was afraid because of the swelling and my pain. Well, it increased. It went back up. I can't say 10 because 10 was the night I fell, and for a while after my surgery, without oxycodone, I never knew what a level 10 pain was. So whenever I was asked to rate my pain, I was never sure how to do it. Well, now I know. And I've had natural childbirth. This was worse. So now for me, my perception is different on the pain scale level. So like today, I'd say I'm having about a 3 or a 4. It does increase as the day goes on. But last week with the swelling and everything, I would say it was like 7, 8, maybe 9. It was bad, but I'm doing much better. Um, Today is a good day with my knee. Um, I'm really feeling good about it. So next week's my big week on the 28th. I can't wait. I'm really excited. I really want to start on walking again, but I'm afraid to. This being the most painful thing that's ever happened to me, I'm afraid. Um, I like to garden and stuff, and they told me I cannot do that for a year because I cannot really bend my knee to get down and work the soil. They definitely don't want me turning soil, anything like that. So, that was kind of depressing for me. But then I thought, well, I am going to purchase one of those raised garden beds on the legs, and they stand about 2 to 3 feet high. And this way I can sit next to it and garden. So I'm going to give that a try. Um, I'm sure it will work. If it does, I might increase that more. I was told this is going to be a lifelong problem for me with my knee. So, um, I'm just going to have to see how it goes. But I know steers and stuff like that, especially in days when it's raining and wet, is going to be difficult. I mean, like we've had the past few days rain, it's been very damp. And, my left hip, I was born with hip dysplasia, so the bursitis and arthritis was acting up with that, and then the knee was even worse. Stuff like that, I know since I've been dealing with my hip since the day I was born, is normal. Nothing to panic about. I don't worry about it. It's normal. And I know how to deal with it. You got to do stretches and exercises, be active, helps that kind of pain. But when it comes to my actual surgery and stuff, it's, like last week, I was scared with what was going on. And my nurse and I, it's great to have an in-home healthcare nurse because I can text her or call her at any time. And so we worked that out, and I am feeling much better. So things are looking up. Sirius is home for at least a few days. He's by my side constantly, being very protective. I just feel bad because he wanted to go outside and I could not let him out. We don't have a fenced-in yard, and we're on a state highway, a state road that's kind of busy during the day, quiets down at night because we're out in the country. I worry about that because he will, being a herd dog, take off, or he'll go back in the woods and I won't see him for a long time. My daughter-in-law, when she dropped him off this morning, the Chagrin River property backs up to that, so she took him there and he went for a swim. He came back pretty muddy. But, just to get it out of his system. He's doing good now. He's laying here. If I get up to move, he will follow me. I didn't know how he would handle it. He's doing such a good job. Just walking very slowly, either behind me or right next to me, without leaning on me. He just feels like he needs to be there because something's wrong with his mommy and he's not happy about it. So he's on guard, making sure nothing else bad happens to mommy. So he doesn't realize he actually did it, but it was an accident. He didn't know. He's a good boy. I'm so happy to have got all 3 of my cats here with me and my dog. My physical therapist has couple mixed breeds, large dogs, and he said having your dogs are good. It's good for healing and stuff like that. I told him, I said, I love all animals. I love being surrounded by animals. And I said, I've got my 3 cats now and my dog. I said, I'm feeling great. So he said, yeah, that's important. So anyways, I think that's it. So for this week, next week I do my updates on Wednesdays because that's like I had my surgery on a Wednesday. So I know, all right, today is exactly 11 weeks. So next week, it'll be 2 days before my doctor's appointment. So I will probably do an extra video on Friday next week to say, let you guys know what my doctor said. So next week, I will have my last occupational therapy. And if he says I can wait, Bear, then the physical therapy will start again to help me relearn how to walk and stuff like that. So exciting news, everybody. I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.